Welcome back to the Britannia Coin Company. We're a coin dealer based in Royal Wootton Bassett in the UK. Firstly, a happy new year from us all at the Britannia Coin Company to you. We hope that 2023 is an amazing year for you and your collection. Recently we looked at the top 15 most common 50p's that you can find out in circulation in your change. In today's video we're going to be counting down the top 15 most common £2 coins that you can find out in your change. We start at number 15 with 2001's wireless transmission, sometimes called the Marconi £2 coin. It was minted to celebrate 100 years since Marconi's wireless transmission, which was sent from Cornwall in England and received in St John's, Newfoundland in North America. £2 coins are the only currently circulating coins to have an edge inscription, which is unique to each design, and on this coin it reads as Marconi 1901 Wireless Bridges the Atlantic. You will find your fair share of these out in your change, with 4,558,000 having been minted. In at 14 we have one of the three Shakespeare £2 coin designs. This is Shakespeare Tragedies, depicting a skull and a rose. The set was released to mark the 400th anniversary of the great English playwright's death in 2016. It is a really popular set, and the third coin, which we won't see in this lineup, being a bit too rare to feature in this countdown. What is very interesting about this coin is the edge inscription. It should read as "What a piece of work is a man." However, it seems some managed to leave the Royal Mint with the wrong edge inscription. If you find one of these coins with an edge inscription which reads as "For King and Country", then this is a rather valuable error. Of this coin though, there were 4,615,000 minted. Lucky for some, number 13, we have 1999's Rugby World Cup. This was to mark the competition held in Wales in the same year. This coin was also released in silver PA4 and sports a stunning hologram as well, rather unique to this coin. The edge inscription reads as Rugby World Cup 1999, although it's rather common to find examples with missing digits on the edge inscription, so don't be fooled by sellers trying to claim that this is a rare version of the coin. There was a total of 4,933,000 minted for general circulation. Our 12th position is the steam locomotive, sometimes called Trevithick's steam locomotive. It was to honour the 200th anniversary of Richard Trevithick's steam-powered locomotive. It managed to transport 10 tons of iron, 70 passengers and 5 wagons across 9 miles, taking 4 hours and 5 minutes, and this was the world's first ever railway journey. The coin doesn't have an edge inscription that you can read. Instead it has a railway motif which goes around part of the rim of the coin. There were 5,004,500 minted in 2004, taking us above the 5 million mintage mark for the first time in this countdown. One off the top 10 is position number 11. It is 2005's Gunpowder Plot, again commonly called the Guy Fawkes £2 coin. It was minted to mark the 400th anniversary of the plot to blow up Parliament whilst King James I, or VI of Scotland, attended the opening of Parliament. The plot was foiled the night before, and Guy Fawkes was found guilty of high treason and executed. On the 5th of November, Londoners were encouraged to celebrate that the King escaped a rather explosive end, and each year on the 5th of November we celebrate Bonfire Night in the UK with fires and fireworks. The edge inscription helps to recall the date, reading as "Remember, remember the 5th of November", although it is common to find examples where the kicker of the R is obscured, either by the milling or seemingly struck weakly, with some referring to this as the Pemember, Pemembep, or other variants of misspelling. Again, this is very common to see on this coin and doesn't add any value. There were a total of 5,140,500 put out into our change. We're into the top 10 now, and we return once again to Shakespeare with this coin, which is Shakespeare's Histories. With a crown and a dagger as the design, it was one of the last commemorative £2 coins to be circulated. with no other commemoratives being put into circulation after 2016, the year in which this one was created for. Shakespeare is widely credited as being one of the greatest writers in the English language, with work encompassing 39 plays and 154 sonnets, although a lot of us will remember him for being left rather confused in classrooms at school. He is nevertheless one of the greatest playwrights that ever lived, with productions still popular to this day, hundreds of years after having been written, and what's written on the rim of this coin is the Hollow Crown, and there was a total of 5,655,000 minted for circulation. Our ninth position is the Lord Kitchener £2 coin, again sometimes called the 2014 World War I coin or the World War I outbreak £2 coin. Interestingly, the mintage figures for 2021 have just been released, and the Britannia £2 coin would have been placed between this and the last coin which we looked at, but the Britannia is a definitive design, so it's not included in the countdown. Again, there is a really exciting variant of this coin to look out for. You need to check the obverse or head side of the coin. Below the portrait of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II should be the words £2. But for an unspecified number of coins, the wrong die was used for this side of the coin and therefore doesn't state the denomination. With a mix-up of the dies, this is called a mule error, and it's worth a lot of money if you're lucky enough to find one. There were 5,720,000 minted for circulation, and the edge inscription on this coin is "The lamps are going out all over Europe." Florence Nightingale comes in at number 8. This coin commemorates the 100th anniversary of her death, and there were 6,175,000 minted for use in our change. Florence Nightingale was a nurse during the Crimean War and became a celebrated reformist, laying the foundations of modern nursing. The edge inscription on this coin reads as 150 years of nursing. In 7th position we have one of the two coins which were minted to celebrate British industrialist and engineer Isambard Kingdom Brunel. This coin marks his achievements, notably on this coin the arches at Paddington Station. We see the iconic arches for the train station which he envisioned as the terminus for his Great Western Railway lines. He took inspiration from the Great Exhibition's Crystal Palace in 1851, and at the time the station was built it was the largest train shed roof in the world. There were 7,452,250 minted, and the edge inscription on this coin is "So many irons in the fire." We're almost at the top 5 now. In 6th place it's the Act of Union. It was released in 2007 to coincide with the 300th anniversary of the Act of Union, which legally joined England and Scotland into one kingdom during the reign of Queen Anne. Although the two countries had shared a monarch since King James I of England or VI of Scotland, it took over 100 years before the agreement was made. It is a coin which is sometimes tricky to work out the orientation of, but the Scottish thistle, as on a map, should be above the Rose of England. There were 7,545,000 created for circulation, and the edge inscription is "United into one kingdom." Divided by the Act of Union, we have the second coin released again in 2006 to celebrate the life and work of Brunel. This coin features his portrait, although if released today, I'm sure he wouldn't be smoking. There were 7,928,250 minted to be used in our change, and on the edge inscription of this coin, it reads as 1806 to 1859, Isambard Kingdom Brunel Engineer. 4th place sees another great writer. This is the Charles Dickens £2 coin. It was created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of his birth, and the design is a portrait of him created with the titles of his literary works. This is again a coin which is commonly portrayed as being a rare error coin, whether it's because the beading around the coin on the obverse isn't complete or the edge inscription is upside down. It's all nonsense really. The beading is very often slightly off or missing in parts due to the speed in which coins are mass produced at, and there is no right or wrong way for the edge lettering to appear on a £2 coin. It's just a 50-50 chance depending which way round it lands in a coin press machine. There were 8,190,000 produced for circulation in 2012, and the edge inscription reads, "As something will turn up." Taking the bronze medal, we have the abolition of the slave trade. With the trade in slaves having peaked in the 1780s, more and more people began voicing concerns over the morality of this most heinous industry. It wouldn't be until multiple failed attempts that in 1807 the slave trade in the British Empire was abolished, although slaves in colonies wouldn't be freed until 1838, with slave owners rather than the slaves themselves being compensated. Although the echoes of the brutality still reverberate to this day, the coin marks a significant cultural milestone in our country's history. There were 8,440,000 of these coins minted, and the edge inscription is "Am I not a man and a brother?" In second place, we have a very recent coin. This is the World War I Army Centenary. All three branches of the armed forces were honoured on coins, marking the centenary of the First World War, with the Navy being produced and circulated in 2015 on a rather rare coin. Aviation and later the RAF feature on commemorative £2 coins, which sadly were not put into circulation. There was a huge number of this coin circulated though, totalling 9,550,000. And the edge inscription on this coin is "For King and Country," which is the inscription which was incorrectly put on some of the Shakespeare tragedies £2 coins which we looked at earlier. In at number 1 then, the most common commemorative £2 coin that you will find in your change is the VE Day Anniversary, featuring St Paul's Cathedral in the design. It was minted in 2005 to mark the 60th anniversary of the end of the Second World War in Europe. It is the only commemorative £2 coin to have a mintage figure in excess of 10 million, and therefore it is a coin that you've probably seen many times before. The edge inscription on this coin reads as "In victory, magnanimity, in peace, goodwill." A bit of a mouthful if you don't practice it. Well, there we go, the top 15 most common £2 coins that you will find in your change. Do let me know in the comments which is your favourite design out of those top 15. There will be links in the description of this video over to our website if you'd like to look at the coins in a bit more detail, or you'd like to purchase some for your own collection. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It's free to do and it means you won't miss out on any of our future uploads throughout the rest of the new year. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we post lots of pictures of our coins. We're on Twitter and TikTok. We've got our shop and online store, but I'll see you next time for more amazing coins from the Britannia Coin Company.